This is gonna be interesting. Definitely it being our first time, but
Yeah. Rough as fuck. Rough.com.
there is a lot to talk about. And let's not focus too much on beginnings. Let's dive into one of these. I think the one that's been on my mind the most, because I've definitely watched a couple videos today, is the angry Trump supporters, right?
Man.
This is the one that gets me the most, because like the video that I sent you of it was actually a lady at like a fast food spot, and
Yeah.
she's yelling, "Get out of my country! You guys are the ugliest motherfuckers ever," whatever, and like she's going in. But the thing I noticed was every time you see these videos, it's the same script every time.
The same, yeah.
They're really saying
like cut
the
and paste, like cut and copy.
Exactly. So one of the things I'm curious about, right, and it'll be interesting on this show, is how much I have to temper the conspiracy theory side of me.
I say we, you know what I'm saying? Like I say we do all that in conjecture. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We're all
We'll go there, but then we'll come back.
Exactly.
Just just to have a little. You gotta have some balance in the force.
yeah. What it appears to be.
Right. And so, like, what if because these guys, the alt-right or whatever the hell they call themselves, make America great again, trumpeters or whatever, to a certain degree, they do organize themselves, right?
Yeah.
So what if they're really like putting out scripts and saying, okay, this is how you guys need to act up?
Wow.
But see, I don't know. That might be a stretch.
No. But you know what's crazy? It is like, it's funny because I told my roommate, who happens to be of the Caucasian
from
persuasion,
the Caucasus Mountains,
the Caucasoidal mountains, all jokes. But like I told him that it kind of feels like someone who's losing in a fight,
right?
And they're just spazzing out and doing everything at all costs not to lose. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so like it kind of feels like they're kind of like pushing the envelope. And then a lot of times too, it's like Facebook is their source of news. Right. A lot of these people don't even watch Fox News or whatever. Like,
yeah,
the
a
lot of
stuff doesn't even watch. Yeah.
So what it is a lot of times is these people are all friends and they all follow the same thing. They watch the same memes. They click on the same thing. So Facebook has like an equation that sends them the same shit. You know what I mean? Right. Like I'm curious if it's just like some low key like programming. You know what I mean? Like consistent programming.
Well, okay. The one thing that we do know, do me for pull the mic a little bit closer to you.
Got it.
So one thing that we do know, Facebook does have an algorithm system for how they pump, different stories and videos to you, right? Yeah. They take a look at, okay, if you like Boyz II Men, then you're probably gonna like, TGT just dropped a new album. You like, you like.
You might get an
R&B.
UGG commercial in your shit.
Right. So they curate stuff towards you, and they aggregate towards stuff towards you. So, but I think that also applies on the conservative and the liberal side, because I noticed that, like, I don't know yet if it's a good thing that I block and delete people that are staunch Trump supporters.
Yeah.
A big part of me is like, man, I don't want to hear all that noise, all right? Because you're not even thinking about facts. But at the same time, you slowly chip away at people who don't think like you and who don't agree with you. So you only hear people that agree with you.
And you kind of couture your own world.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So then you're kind of left in a space where you might not necessarily be thinking as critical as you could if you're hearing opposing arguments. Mm-hmm. And so I think that does have an effect. If you're not thinking critically about a lot of these topics, and you're not listening to people who think very differently from you. But my problem with that is a lot of those people who think differently than you are also invested in you not being worth as much as them. And a lot of their theories are based on the fact that you don't deserve the same thing that I deserve. And then that's when I feel I exercise my right to tune you out.
Yeah. So here's my question, right? Like, those people, not all people, but those specific people do not feel that you deserve the same life that they have, right?
Right.
And they see you as a lesser than, right?
Right.
So where is a balance between keeping your energy clean or studying the enemy.
That's okay. That's a good one. You
like it has to be like a certain balance. Like you might have just like and then a lot of times there are these shit trolls, and all they do is like they're all about just bullshit. Like they don't even believe the shit they're posting.
Oh, no,
you know
no,
what I mean? But then the ones that actually are like organizing and focused on like shifting shit, that's the ones that I'm kind of like on the low key. Like let me like watch these niggas.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you have to watch both sides, because you have the people that are only looking to egg you on, and literally the egg avatar on Twitter, like they don't
craziness.
There's no information about themselves. They literally, you have these people creating profiles, and they're just creating false information. They're putting out these fake stories just to actually make money off of you, because there was all these stories, the whole fake news thing, where you have these people saying, okay, you know what? These people are ultra conservative. Let me spread some false rumors about Hillary Clinton, being a pedophile or something crazy. Because, they're going to click on that stuff. And I got ads on my website, so I'm going to make a few bucks off of that.
Yeah.
But see, that same thing is happening on the liberal side now.
Yeah.
Because, okay, here's a good example. You remember Stephen Colbert?
Yeah.
He on his show, he said he said that Trump was Putin's cock holster.
I saw that. He caught a lot of flack for that.
He did get a lot of flack for that. But there was a story going around that the FCC was investigating what he said. Now, on the surface, that sounds like, oh, Trump is sending his watchdogs after you. But that wasn't 100% accurate. Technically, the way the FCC works is, when you say something kind of crazy, they open up a investigation, in quotation marks, for everybody. They look into it, they review it, and they basically determine whether or not there's going to be a fine, penalty, suspension, or whatever. And that's not always the case where there actually is a fine stemming from a investigation.
Yeah.
So
even though he's satire, they still go through that for that type of show. Yeah,
but that same process applies to if you use a non-sanctioned cuss word on a TV show.
Okay, that makes sense.
So it's the headline makes it feel like, oh, Trump is, he got his panties up his ass,
Yeah.
But that's not necessarily the case. So that's the interesting thing. The way we consume information, most people, and I'm guilty of this too. You read the headline. And a lot of times, like
I read a lot. I ain't gonna front. You know what I mean?
You read the headline,
man,
and
fuck
like
Trump, man. You go,
and that's what you hear. Like, God damn, like they really up to that. If you read the story, sometimes you get the full perspective.
Yeah, and you can also tell like which publication or which media outlet is leaning more towards right or left, and they're aiming towards something specific.
Right.
It leads me to another question.
Okay.
Another question is. How, like right now they're cracking down on Facebook because people are believing a lot of the trolling information to be true.
Right.
How much is it Facebook's responsibility to police what is being put up, or how much is it our responsibility to educate the fucking dumbasses who believe this bullshit? You know what I mean?
That's a very good question, because
because you could play into the whole like freedom of speech, you know what I mean? Like, and then you have like how like the whole PC police, you know what I mean? But then you have like certain people actually sending out bullshit propaganda, saying that Hillary's a shape-shifting child molester, Pizzagate shit. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
so okay, here's my thing, and we're gonna talk a little bit more about propaganda in a second, but in response to that. For platforms like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or whatever, it's a very sensitive thing. Like, okay, if I'm Mark Zuckerberg, right, there's certain things that Facebook already polices. Okay, you can't put any nudity on Facebook. They'll put the parental warning or the cautionary thing before it's a video of a fight or if someone gets shot or whatever. Sometimes there's been kind of controversial things where one of those police shootings. You'll see the full video on Facebook, then they'll take it down, and then they'll put it back up. There's a huge gray area. Now, because there's really two ways you can do it. If you're Facebook, you can be 100% laissez-faire and say, look, whatever you post is up there. It's for everybody.
Whatever.
But that gets kind of difficult because then my counter argument is, okay, I'm not comfortable with people posting videos of, innocent black people getting killed by the police because although people need to see that is true, you can only watch those things so many times before you get completely desensitized, and then you can equate watching someone die from a cell phone video to just it being completely normalized, right? Yeah. I never want that feeling to be normal when I watch it. Like, your reaction, you should be upset. It should make you feel some type of way.
But here's something else, too, is the fact that you're a black man.
So, well, okay. Because obviously, I'm going to be more sensitive to it.
Well, no, you probably see it more because you probably have black family, black friends, whatever. Right. So you have certain people who couture their Facebook page to, like, puppy videos and cats who don't even see it. And then all of a sudden, like, how much time do we allocate? Like, you know what it is? Like, with me, I dislike fight videos.
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
Like, I dislike it. Like, you know what I'm saying? And consistently, like, I had to tell friends, I was like, yo, you keep posting this, I'm going to unfollow you. You know what I'm saying? Because you're perpetuating something.
Yeah.
But then again, it's just like, how do we choose what can be shown and not shown?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a really tough debate because we can sit here and make a very long list of things. You know what? I don't think that should be shown. And you can say, okay, well, kids shouldn't see that. Or if we're black and we see black people getting shot, we don't want to see that. Or, if you're from another group and something happens, you don't want to see that either, right?
Yeah.
But you that list gets longer and longer and longer before you can't show nothing.
And then another thing too is like we still want to be informed.
Yeah.
Like, why are y'all hiding this from us?
Exactly.
You know
because
what I'm saying? So it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like the catch-22. The one thing I learned is it's always levels to this shit, right?
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like we need to show people that it's happening. Because at one point, you know what I'm saying? I say the black community was like, nigga, we got phones now. We recording everything.
Yeah.
We shorting it.
We got the
Facebook
evidence.
Live on everything to show.
Right.
And don't block this shit, because had she not shown, and I'm talking about like, you know what I mean, the whole car situation, had she not recorded, that would have been swept underneath the rug.
Yeah, we would have never saw that.
Never saw that. With the baby in the back seat.
So actually reasons like that does lean me towards the laissez-faire approach of show everything. Maybe you put that little warning up, say, "Hey, this is a graphic image."
Yeah.
I think I'm cool with that more so than Facebook determining what should and shouldn't be shown.
Because another thing too is, let's go conspiracy.
Okay.
Let's just this shit is already hitting me. So let's just say the whole purpose of them showing all this crazy shit, like let's talk about the KKK members hanging that girl. You know what I'm saying? And people are saying, we need to shut down Facebook Live. And the reason why they want to shut down Facebook Live is because they don't want to show the cops.
Yeah. Yeah. See?
Attacking us. So then it's like, it's so many different levels. You're just like, damn. Like, you know what I mean? How do you... I just say, like, I don't know. What do you think, man?
Well, okay. I say show it. And here's why. As any teenage boy, right?
You're going to find that shit anyway.
You're going to find it, all right? Especially, we're in the information age. It is entirely too easy to watch just about anything, no matter how crazy, disgusting, disastrous. There is an avenue for you to watch it, okay?
Yeah.
I remember being in high school. I went to boarding school, and because they controlled the internet, they would block certain websites. But we always found ways to...
Oh, absolutely.
You found proxy websites. You found ways around it.
The top hackers in America.
Right. And like...
Is a 13-year-old boy. He's like, I got this, son.
So actually, I do believe that, the more you try and take it away from people and not show them, the more you're just going to entice them to want to go find those things and potentially cover up some of those crazy stories that we see. If we hadn't have seen the video footage, we would have never been talking about it. We would have never really known about Eric Garner's situation. Yeah, we would never really would have understood what happened with Philando Castile.
You know how many times I've seen cops choke out niggas in
Nigga, like, choking them, shooting them in the back, like
the video you just sent me recently.
Yeah.
It's a few hours ago. Yeah.
If you didn't see that stuff, you wouldn't be able to react appropriately, because reading it and seeing it are two very different things.
Yeah.
Or the fact that you might not even read it. It might just be completely gone from,
So here's my question. This is a good thing. You just said this, right? Like you just said, you don't want to be desensitized to it, right?
Right.
Like, let's go back a year and a half ago.
Okay.
Where the guy pulled into a gas station, right?
Mm-hmm.
He got out the car, walked up to the cop. The cop was like, "Yo, give me your ID." Mm-hmm. He goes back in the car. He's like, "Put your hands up!" shot him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
That was so long ago to Tamir Rice, like getting shot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Do you feel like you're getting desensitized, or do you feel like a lot of people even say that they think that it's like a plot to get people to riot and fight and.
Yeah, I hear all that. George Soros is funding protests. I don't know if I believe all that.
I don't believe all that.
Yeah, I think that's a stress. I think people are just pissed off.
Yeah.
Like how many times can you watch somebody die on camera before you get really pissed off? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I do think it does have a desensitizing effect, and I focus on that topic because I've been fortunate enough to kind of travel to a lot of different parts of the world. Living in Nigeria for so long when I was younger, you definitely see things there that you don't see here often.
Like what?
Unfortunately, I have seen like a dead body on the side of the street, right? And your imagination can only take you to why that's the case or how that happened, especially when you're a kid. Right?
It wasn't a heart attack, is what you're saying.
Yeah, it definitely was a heart attack. I think I ruled that out. Right?
Quicker,
but
the bullet holes is ruling out the heart attack.
It has evidence enough. But as much as I think it does have an effect on us becoming desensitized, I think it is important to see those things. As crazy as it is.
Let me tell you what. I agree with you. Not to cut you off, but knowledge is complete power.
Oh, yeah.
I hear Denzel say, like, what's the cost of too much information? But I kind of disagree with that. I think that as human beings, we shift and adjust to changes, right? So the fact that we have so much information, I think that no matter how many people shit on millennials, I think that the amount of information that they can receive and do research on their own is going to open up, which is why I think that Trump won. And everyone's panicking because even like the people who are the most racist and the most hateful,
right?
The kids are doing the nene. You know what I'm saying? And hitting the Quan. You know what I'm saying? And they take. You know what I'm saying? Like they have.
They're
more
enjoying every bit of the culture.
Oh, absolutely. They
eating it all up.
Absolutely. So yeah, like I think it's kind of necessary for that information, and of course, with that, then you know what I mean, like. People will start seeing, you can kind of couture what you watch as Facebook move on. I think that's the next thing that Facebook is going to pop off. It's just like parental guidelines for Facebook to not see killings or shootings, whatever. But I think having that information is what makes America great. I didn't mean to plug
great.
MAGA at all.
Not again. Just great right now.
It was already great is because they don't funnel down like the internet and information.
Yeah. And that, okay. Sorry, I had like 3 different segues in my head because I was going to start talking about net neutrality. But look, information.
Your shout out to Obama.
Right. Information is key because, look, I take a look at schools, specifically public schools, right? I do believe, and this isn't a conspiracy theory because there's plenty of evidence to support it. I do believe that there's a concerted effort to reduce the amount of information we give our kids that tell a negative story about American history, right?
Nigga, let me tell you something real quick. Not to cut you off. I know I'm cutting you off, but you're probably going to say this.
Okay.
But did you hear about the textbooks that said that the slaves...
Oh, yeah. I got a couple textbook
stories. Slaves were just like very low paid workers.
Oh, yeah.
Come
they
on,
just,
son. They took out slavery out of the textbooks.
They were disgruntled workers. That's all.
Come on, son.
They still got fed, nigga. You know.
Oh my god.
Nah. So, look, and specifically, and see, look, you can always, when you see a scandal, when you see something that's kind of wild, follow the money. That's my policy always. The Texas School Board. Here's what's interesting about this. They're one of the largest. They're actually the largest buyer of school books in the United States, right? Because they have the most public schools and they have public schools with the most amount of kids, right? Those are all the schools that have 2,000-3,000 kids in one school. Yeah. So because they're the biggest buyers of textbooks, they create a situation where they have panels determining what information goes in these textbooks. Because if in Texas, they can say, you know what? I don't like you talking about this person. I'm not going to buy your textbooks this year. You're hurting somebody's pockets, right?
Absolutely.
So the creator of that textbook is now saying, okay, you know what? We got to make a few changes to make Texas happen.
Hashtag fuck McMillan.
Right.
That's crazy.
So because this happened, because I first started learning about this in high school a little bit because I was very fortunate to take a social justice class. Shout out to Miss Cook. To this day, one of my favorite teachers because she was willing to teach me about the Scotts War Boys and all these kind of crazy stories and learn about the civil rights movement, women's rights and things of that matter. But it was to the point where if there was talk of a Hispanic leader pushing for workers' rights, they said, we don't want that in our textbooks. If it was about the slave trade, it's like, how do we change the tone of that so it doesn't make us look so bad? And so they make those changes because they determine how many books you're going to be able to sell.
That's crazy.
So look, it all comes down to economics. It all comes down to money.
All we had was Crispus Attucks. We had
the first patriot. There's nobody more patriotic. The first person to look. If y'all don't know about this, let me give you a quick history lesson.
Break down Crispus Attucks.
Okay, son. The Boston Massacre.
Word them over, son.
Crispus is it Attucks or Atticus? Crispus Attucks.
Attucks, I think.
All right, well, Google the shit.
Word them over, son.
Okay, he was the first. He was the first American to die, and he essentially started the American Revolution in the Boston Massacre. All right, British soldiers.
The shot that was heard around the world.
Exactly. British soldiers fired on a crowd of Americans. Crispus Attucks was the first one to get shot and die, and he was the first martyr for the United States of America. All right, this is still 13 colonies. We want to become independent. He was the first one to give his life for that fight.
Absolutely.
And see, they're not going to teach you about that. I be talking to my little brother because he's in high school right now. I was like, look, man, don't let him tell you none of that BS, all right? Let me tell you the real history, okay?
Yo, my parents taught me so much about history that I would be like, and plus I was in like an advanced class, you know what I mean? Like I was in like AP history or whatever. Yeah. And the teacher would talk, I'd be like, wrong. Walk up and take the chalk and actually write on the chalkboard and teach the class
no, this
properly.
is what really happened.
Absolutely.
Shout
out to Miss Hanley, my greatest teacher ever.
Hey, and you know what? I want that to be a part of our show. We got to give shout outs to the real educators out here that are willing to take the leap to actually teach kids accurate information. Because that's all it is. Because look, when we're talking about history, just about any country in the world, especially any major established first world country, they're going to have some sort of dark past, all right? And so the way to do it is not to just sweep it under the rug and never talk about those things. You have to acknowledge your history, understand what happened, and then you can move forward. Because the problem is, and why black people, Hispanics, Native Americans, while it's kind of like we have this chip on our shoulder, it's because from a very young age, we're told that all this stuff that we know to be true, you're kind of crazy for thinking that. Yeah. Even though like
I heard this really, really, really crazy statement. Not even a crazy statement, but this dude said, this activist said that America doesn't have a mother. And the way it works is like if you were outside playing in the dirt, right, and you're like all dirty, you're all muddy and shit like that.
Right.
Your mother would bring you in the house, and before you did anything else, go and clean up, change your clothes. You know what I mean?
Right.
What America does is all the dirt that is done, I still love America. Shout out to America. All the dirt that is done, all they do is put on a shirt and a tie and try to cover up the dirt instead of addressing it.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, and I think that's what it is, the fact that we don't
let it out.
As black people, my American experience is completely different than the average white man's experience.
Very true.
So if I'm trying to explain to you what I go through in a day, you know what I mean? Like, you turn a blind eye to that, like, which is why now camera's king, right? Mm-hmm. So now that people are seeing that, like, people are now slowly are starting to address those issues. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. But, you know, for a lot of people, you know, and one of my favorite quotes in the world from James Baldwin, he says, you know, to be black and conscious in America is to be in a constant rage.
Yeah. I got to watch I Am Not Your Negro.
Yeah.
That shit's going to be dope.
You definitely got to watch
Is it out already?
Yeah. Yeah.
It came out like recently. Like
it definitely came out recently.
Okay, I'll check that.
But that quote has always been really powerful to me because when you do watch those videos, right? When you see someone that, for the most part, looks like you, or you could have been in that same situation they're in, their life gets taken away for seemingly no reason other than the fact that they look different. They're considered an other. They seem to be a threat to someone who doesn't look like them.
Yeah.
When you see that, it's impossible not to get angry.
Well, because
you have to train yourself not to, like, have an outburst.
Well, because you got to think about this right here too, is the fact that, like, you probably a few months ago went to a family reunion where you saw someone who just got killed who looks just like that, or you seen a little 17-year-old kid or 16-year-old kid or even 15-year-old kid who's 6'1", who's goofy as hell, but walking down the street, like, people will look, that's a menace, that's a drug dealer.
Exactly.
Just because of the way he looks. But you know that he is as harmless as
who, you
know what I'm saying? Like, whoever. Yeah.
And, you know, and because, like, I see my little brother that way. Because funny that you say that, he literally is like 6 foot. I don't know how the nigga's taller than me already. he's only like 16. Wow, he's not even 16 yet. He's 15 right now. But dude is tall, right? He's kind of a goofy, lanky guy, you know. Mm-hmm. But he's like the most harmless person in the world, you know. But it's crazy.
But he's a large African.
Yeah. And he's dark skinned, you know.
Yeah.
But it's crazy that, you know, just on a regular day, he could be out somewhere and something could happen to him simply because of the way he looks, simply because of his appearance. So my whole thing is, it's so easy for us to get angry, and, you know, it is a testament to the strength of black people that we are able to remain composed most of the time.
Yeah.
Right? You know, sometimes we have our little moments.
Our DNA.
It has to be. Yeah. Because there was a very interesting study talking about ancestral trauma. Now, for some people, for some people that might be a reach.
Shout out to Willie Lynch. Google.
For some people that might be a reach, but just think about it. You know, the way DNA works and how, you know, genes are passed down from mother and father to son and daughter. Imagine 400 years of slavery and lynching and beatings and being separated from family, constant trauma. Imagine generations of people who only experience trauma, who never really experience true joy or happiness. And to think that has no effect on future generations, I think that actually that denies history of science showing us the way that genetics works, the way that DNA works. So there's potential for there being ancestral trauma that is a part of our DNA, but it's also a part of our DNA to remain composed in these kind of lunatic situations.
So here's my question.
Because it's an expectation for us.
So here's my question, right? I think that the black man in America is a very unique human case.
Yes.
Right? Because if you go to, like, let's say Venezuela, right? And the people are, like, fighting, and, like,
we got a lot of TMZ in the building. Okay.
So yeah, you got that going on. They are turning the fuck up. You
Right.
look at Iran, Iraq, you look at the Palestinians and Israelis, they're going the fuck in. You even look at Africa, they are going in.
Did you see Romania?
When they went in on the cops?
No. So the Senate building, they passed a corruption law that essentially the entire country was against. That basically allowed politicians to.
They lit that motherfucking building up.
They literally burned that building down.
They lit that building up.
Yeah, but
so
sorry to
here's
cut you
my
off.
question. My whole thing is the fact that back into like passing on in the DNA, what makes us as black people not turn the fuck up? Because obviously, for example, Dave Chappelle said this incredibly, right? In his like last Netflix special, you got to check it out.
Yeah.
Like he was saying, like the only way a black man could be safe is if he's walking around in high heels. You know what I'm saying? Like he's walking around like. You know what I'm saying? Officer, can I help you? You know what I'm saying? Because
you gotta have
he's
a dress
saying,
on with high heels and some makeup on.
you know what I'm saying? Because like literally, like if what was happening to the black man was happening to gays, like if cops were shooting gays at the rate that they're shooting black people, oh my God.
Oh yeah.
So here's my question: is why are we not like going in like other groups or other races or other?
Well, I think back to that point of ancestral trauma.
The Willie Lynch shout out.
Right. Imagine if every time you rebelled, if every time you acted up, you were met with the whip and the rod and them taking your wife away and them taking your kids away. That trauma can be ingrained in you because it's just like in your actual life. Like forget ancestral DNA. And in your actual life, when someone experiences trauma, right? It's like Stockholm syndrome, right?
Yeah.
Your kidnapper, if you're
Almost
with them long
becomes-
enough, and maybe they're a little bit nice to you, even though you're their prisoner, you almost
Look up to them as though it's like a father figure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think
I don't get that shit, but I can understand how certain people.
There's a certain element of that. Definitely not with all black people.
Yeah.
I think that applies a little bit more to the Uncle Tom and the coons of the world. To go there.
No, 100%.
That definitely applies to them a little bit more than the rest of the population. But I think, I just think that we are a powerful people. We are a tempered people. And to see the successes of people like Martin Luther King, a lot of us want to believe in that dream. It might not apply for all of us, but we want to believe in that dream, that there's a peaceful route.
I low-key think that we are finally aware of, and everyone has their own magic. Let me just say that real quick, okay? Before I even start,
everyone has their
on
own
this
black
round.
magic.
Everyone has their own black magic. But anyway, what I will say is the fact that we are aware of the magic, and we saw what happened with Obama and Michelle.
Yeah,
that was like, that almost seemed surreal to me.
Yeah,
how all that shit came. You know what I'm saying? You're together. So I think that we are aware of the fact that like the culture is controlled by us.
Right.
America was built by us.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I think that the fact that we're aware of that, the people who are cognizant of that are moving quietly.
Yeah.
Like some Underground Railroad shit.
Right.
Hey, pass me that Henny real quick.
You want some more?
Absolutely, man. How you doing, man?
I'm good.
You good?
I'm pacing myself, but I'm getting there. Yeah, I think, seeing those images definitely gives people hope. Say what you want about criticisms for Obama and his family, and there's nothing wrong with criticizing Obama.
Yeah. I did.
At the end of the day,
he
was a president, right?
But he was our best president ever.
Yeah, I do believe
hands
that
down.
You should be able to criticize, even if you're interested in their legacy being positive. You should feel perfectly okay with criticizing those people. But at the same time, those images were very powerful. It helped give a lot of people hope. And I think most black people do understand the two sides of the coin. We understand the MLK and the Malcolm X, right? We understand by any means necessary.
Shout out to Malcolm.
And the peaceful Selma March.
Yeah.
and we're constantly trying to find a way to have balance. But another really interesting point, and I definitely think we should segue into talking about the media a little bit. Take Black Lives Matter, right? Now, last year,
organization.
right? How dare you? How dare you ask for equal rights? How dare you think that your life matters just as much as everybody else?
Exactly.
You goddamn PC bullies.
Hashtag all lives.
Did you see TLC with that all lives matter?
No,
bullshit?
no! Don't tell me they said that. My nigga.
Chili and T-Boss, they did an interview in the UK.
Don't tell me they said that.
I'm gonna send you the video.
Oh
nigga.
my god.
She pulled the All Lives Matter card, and I was like, oh.
No way.
But you know what? They've been slipping ever since. They did a GoFundMe for the studio funds, and the album never dropped. We still waiting on the album, nigga. The album ain't coming.
That's why I didn't get the plaque yet. No, I'm just playing. A shout out to Chili.
We gonna try to limit the shade, but it's gonna pop out every now and again.
We keep it 100. We keep it 100 here, man.
Okay, so talking about the media and talking about Black Lives Matter.
Yeah.
So one of the things that's interesting is now you're not seeing Black Lives Matter march and protest as much as they used to in the streets. 2015, 2016, that was a big motive, right? Now,
Why do you think that is?
well, I think because they're starting to get smart in realizing that their biggest critics and opponents, they're really not tuning into that. Yeah. Seeing them march and protest in the street isn't as effective as we would want it to be. So I think they're starting to organize a little bit more behind the scenes, right?
Shout out to DeRay Davis.
Finding out ways to put these policies forward. I was reading up on, there is a Black Lives Matter group here in LA, and right now there's a huge shoot for a former LA sheriff.
Not
right?
the nigga with the beard.
Yeah.
And the cowboy hat?
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure he's going to jail. I think he's done.
Wait, we're talking about the same one who's on Fox all the time who spoke
Well, no, not him.
Okay.
Not him.
Fuck that nigga.
Oh, that's a whole nother fucking story. All right, because
cool
he got some bodies on his record. He got a couple teardrops.
Oh, easily.
Yeah.
Easily.
But no, so they are starting to organize in a different way, and you're not seeing it in the news as much. But don't get it twisted. They're not gone. All right.
I mean, I always am a heavy proponent of the revolution should not be televised.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and I do understand the whole concept of like how we spoke about Martin Luther King and Malcolm.
Right.
You need both. You know what I'm saying? Like, you need the attack on both fronts. You know what I mean? But I will say, I am not a heavy proponent of showing the moves to the people who are trying to stop your moves.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
You got to work behind the scenes a little bit.
Hashtag Black Illuminati. I'm just joking.
That's really the key to organization, especially because you're really looking on a fairly large scale, right?
Yeah.
And so my thing has always been, you have to go for policy points, and you got to look at the type of people we're putting into office and we're putting into positions of power, right?
Yeah.
Because, in cities like Detroit or whatever, you'll see, oh, well, you guys have a black mayor or you have a black sheriff. That doesn't necessarily mean that they're really looking out for us.
No,
right?
yeah, absolutely not. Yeah. Matter of fact, just a side note, the most problems I've had with police officers was usually black cops.
Yeah, and that's
shout out to
the
good cops.
That's a whole nother issue because everyone kind of gets the sense that black cops, they're trying to either prove their worth or prove that they're on the blue side. So they kind of go the extra mile.
Exactly.
Sticking it to niggas.
I can tell you a crazy story of me almost getting killed, but go ahead. Yeah.
Okay.
We'll keep it light, though. We keep it light.
I think all of us have a crazy story like that. But yeah, I definitely think that the organization is behind the scenes. And, one of the things that I've been looking at is, and one thing that I promote and I push is a whole vote local movement. Because
that's very important.
Talking about voting and talking about doing your civic duty, as you might say, it's really easy to get completely discouraged and not even want to be a part of the process.
Yeah.
Because it seems like everything is built against you. But I think we've seen take guys like Bernie Sanders, who himself being imperfect, but I think in the last election he was probably the best option that we had to really push.
I didn't agree with everything he was saying, but I think he's the best option.
I liked all the stuff he was talking about in terms of economics and trying to spread the wealth a little bit more and single payer Medicare for everybody. Pushing the whole healthcare route. But I think we have to get into a position where we're willing to go out on the line and vote our conscience, right?
Yeah.
Because one thing that's interesting, I sent you that video of Bill Maher, right? Mm-hmm. And how he was talking about all the Bernie bros and all the people who voted for like either Gary Johnson or Jill Stein, how essentially what all these Democrats who lost are saying now is because you didn't vote for Hillary, you essentially voted for Trump.
Yeah.
I'm still not 100% if I agree with that. Okay. Because I believe part of your duty as a citizen is to vote your conscience. No matter what the odds are, you're supposed to vote for the person who is the best option that directly reflects your views.
This is truth.
And you think would be the best person to fill that office. Mm-hmm. Now, but on the other side, I do get, look, it's a numbers game. If this guy's only polling at like 5%, what's the chances he's really going to start?
Do you know how many people that I know who in their... And you couldn't do it in every single state, but in certain states you can vote independent. Mm-hmm. And that independent person, like the Jill Steins, whatever,
right?
They had no chance in winning.
Nah.
And in their mind, they were saying, I need to vote independent so it opens up a 3-party system to where I will win.
Yeah.
I think that was literally propaganda to get people to not vote for the 2 parties who were actually in the runnings.
Huh.
You know what I mean?
Okay. I can see that. My only issue is because if enough people voted independent, right?
Oh, this is true.
Which more people did than in previous elections. I think it was close to like 10% voted either for Gary Johnson or Jill Stein.
Yeah, Gary was
okay.
That nigga was wild,
but the problem was Gary Johnson was low key. He was a nutcase, and Jill Stein was just as crazy.
Yeah,
because she thought that
Did
everybody.
You hear her album?
Nigga, I saw a video.
I downloaded it, son. I got that shit. Yo, I'm gonna send it to you.
But as nuts as they both were, to be honest, they still would have been a better president than Trump.
Absolutely.
All right, and that's really not a high bar whatsoever. Yeah. But I
got another question to ask you. I'm sorry.
But they still would have been better than Trump.
A lot of people are saying, okay, this is another point that I had, right?
Okay.
So a lot of people are saying, yeah, but underneath, like Hillary, it would have been worse. Because what about the emails? Or a lot of people are also saying that, like, we need to keep Trump in because Pence will be worse. That's the new thing that people are saying. Like, Pence would be so much more worse. But, I mean, like... I think we literally have a madman as president.
We do. He's a villain from every cartoon you ever watched as a kid. He's Mum-Ra from the Thundercats.
I think he's Mum-Ra. You're from the Thundercats that talks to a sock puppet in the bathroom.
Okay, yeah, that's the other thing. Like as evil as he is. I will never give him enough credit to say that he actually has a plan for all the shit that he's doing.
Now,
I think he's just a nutcase.
I got a lot of people who think heavily on both sides. A lot of people are saying that he planned this whole thing out and it was all money from the beginning.
I don't believe it.
You know what I'm saying? He's playing a sucker to catch a sucker, right? And a lot of people are saying like he didn't know what the fuck he's doing. He's out of his goddamn mind.
I don't think he knew what he was getting into. Not in the least a bit.
I don't think he thought he was going to win.
No. Because if you go back and look at the last, 2 weeks of his campaign...
I think Bannon knew.
Yeah, he was pushing the whole thing is rigged, right? He was pushing that for the scenario where if he loses...
Well, he lost. Because you know what he was going to do, though, right? He actually had put money down to buy a network. He was going to create
the whole
Fox
Trump TV thing. Yeah.
And pull that, and he was about to do, that whole shit. He was going to make an incredible amount of money, but
I think he would have been much more comfortable. He would have been much happier, and he would have made plenty of money if that's the route that he took. If he lost,
that nigga's golfing right now, bro.
yeah,
now.
golfing like crazy. But see, okay, we got to jump into this.
Go ahead.
The whole
Do it.
the idea that we live in a post-factual world, right? And then this kind of goes back to what we were talking about at the beginning with the whole Facebook thing and pushing people out that don't agree with you. Because there's one thing when you have two opposing political views and when you willingly ignore facts. So, okay, President Trump. So, okay, he just fired the FBI director, James Comey.
Shout out to Comey.
Right.
Fuck you, Comey, and shout out to you at the same time.
At the same
Fuck
time,
you.
right. It's,
Okay,
it's
for
a
what you did.
hate-love relationship at this
Yeah,
point.
you know what I'm saying?
Like, nigga, you better get up there and testify.
Fuck
and
you
take
for
this
what you
nigga
did to
down.
Hillary. Fuck Hillary for what she did to Bernie. Just fuck all y'all.
There's
but
levels to
continue.
this shit.
Shout out to Obama.
But it's... So, okay. He sends all his guys out there and say, oh, well, based off of the recommendation of the Deputy Attorney General...
Fuck Sessions.
Where he took the recommendation to fire him, right? And then the next
Because
day...
what he did to Hillary.
Right. Really, nigga, you think Trump is worried about Hillary's feelings? Come on,
Hashtag lock her up.
So after he has Spicer and Kellyanne Conway and Huckabee's daughter running around saying, "Oh yeah, based off of the recommendation from the Deputy Attorney General, he decided
Who's
to fire
supposed
him."
to be recused, by the way.
Exactly. But then Trump, in an interview, goes around and say, "Oh yeah, well, I already made up my mind." So nigga, what was they talking all that shit for? So you're directly lying to the American people.
Lester Holt called him the fuck out several
Yeah.
times. Like, he tripped his ass up.
But see, that's another thing.
Which isn't hard.
Reporters need to do more follow-up questions when you're interviewing Trump. They got to stop letting this nigga off the hook. Because they have their little checklist of questions they want to go through. And as soon as they get into a little bit of trouble, like, okay, well, let's segue to this.
Because you know
like,
what it
no, nigga, get to the bottom.
It's a time thing. So
Yeah.
a lot of times, a lot of these people, even with the fucking, like any interview, you got 22 minutes.
Yeah.
It's 30 minutes and you got 2-3 minute commercials, whatever.
Yeah.
So they keep like rambling on.
Yeah.
You're going to pull out. So, I mean, like.
I get that part, but at the same time, in this day and age, we would show you more love if you actually got to the bottom of a question. And okay, let's say you were focusing on tax returns. Ask him a simple question like, did you file your taxes this year? And watch him squirm, right? And say, okay, well, if you filed this year's taxes, are you going to release last year's? When is the audit going to be finished? Are you going to release this year's taxes?
Yeah. We only got 2005.
Follow up.
It's been been 12 years.
Follow up. That's all it is, And so I don't know. I know they have their list. There's a time thing, but we would show you a lot more love, right?
Yeah.
If you just ask the questions that we're actually concerned about.
Here's another question. Do you feel the media in the White House, media specifically, forgive my French, are pussies?
I think a lot of them are. There's only a couple of people that have been willing to go toe to toe with the White House, but even then, they haven't really pushed the limit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Van Jones almost was doing it until he fucking he said that
started
crazy
pulling
as
back.
shit.
He was like,
he
"Oh,
was just like he's
tonight
acting
the-
presidential."
nigga."
Nigga.
One speech, that's all they took.
Come
all
on,
that,
son.
all that other crazy shit he's been saying for a year and a half in one speech.
Now he's being presidential.
Hell no, he hasn't been presidential not 1 minute that he's been in that office.
That nigga's out of his mind.
Yeah, man, Obama got to be turning over in his bed every night.
I think he's doing a Millie Rock right now. He's just like this.
It's like, I'm out this bitch, nigga. You know how long I've been waiting for this freedom?
Well, yeah, you know what's crazy is not even that, but I think the fact that he was attacked consistently by everyone. That now he's
He's
just
still
like,
getting attacked.
yeah, oh my god. Like he actually
Oh, man.
actually warned the gangster shit was. I seen him. First of all, Obama's a gangster.
Oh yeah,
The shit
tan
that
suit and everything.
the shit that Hillary said about Obama in the first election.
Oh, the 2008 election.
2008 election. And then I seen CNN go to Nigeria, right?
Yeah.
Right? Interview his sister and she's like, well, like, how do you feel about
Well, Kenya, but yeah.
Oh, Kenya, my bad. You know what I'm saying? A shout out to the Henny. And so, how do you feel about like Hillary? He's just like, what he said about my brother was. I mean, she had no. She went.
She was going in.
So the fact that he was gangster enough to do that, and gangster enough to after he left, he says that it is an ex-president's duty to have a peaceful transition of power. Mm-hmm. So he literally was on the phone with Trump every single day, helping him out, and he warned him about Flynn. He was like, "My nigga, do not fuck with Flynn."
Yeah,
I fired him for a reason.
2 years before that, he fired Michael Flynn in 2014. Okay, Trump has the audacity to hire this man. Doesn't do any security checks or whatever. Doesn't call not one reference. He didn't call up Little Caesars like, hey man, did Michael Flynn work over there?
Come on, nothing.
Nothing.
Zero.
Let him back in the White House. After Obama warned him, after Sally Yates warned him, for 18 days, Michael Flynn was still in the White House. There's pictures of him sitting in on phone calls with Putin, sitting with phone calls with the president of China. Mm-hmm. They didn't care. And see, okay, here's the thing.
He doing a Birdman hand rub.
It's like, I'm getting all the information, bruh. I'm selling all this shit on the black market.
I need this.
So the interesting thing is, and I've seen a lot of theories about. So there's two things. Either Trump really knows what's going on, or he is getting tricked left and right. So like when the Russian ambassador and the Russian foreign minister came to the White House, this was just like 2 days ago. Kislyak, and that's a person that Sessions got in trouble for talking to. He had to recuse himself. Yeah. That was a person that Carter Page said that he met. Carter Page is like he was a Trump campaign advisor, and he's like a lawyer's worst nightmare because he keeps going on TV, giving interviews, talking a lot of crazy shit, incriminating himself. Mm-hmm. He's gonna be the first one to go down, by the way. But so the Russians came to the White House. They took a meeting with Trump. Trump didn't let any American media in, only let in Russian media. They took pictures. They had, electronics and everything, right? So now people are like, damn, like, is they, pulling information out of Oval Office? And so either Trump knows what he's doing and he's handing over information, he's handing over facts, or he is so oblivious to the way that politics and government works.
Let me explain to you something. Business is business and politics is business. Mm-hmm. So to me, what I think is the fact that like he knows his lane and his hustle. He knows how to get money.
Right. For himself.
The whole shit that you sent me about Eric is my favorite.
Oh, Eric Trump?
Yeah. Explain what you said.
Eric Trump, you know why I love this guy? He always says the parts that you're not supposed to say to the public, the private conversation.
Absolutely.
He says the silent part out loud.
The link is down below.
Yeah. he puts it out there, and like this nigga never knows what the fuck is going on. I love this guy.
This nigga said we never have to worry about money.
Yeah. He's like, oh yeah, we have these Russian investors. Because from that interview that I sent you, mm-hmm. it was a story about golf. Right? That's how crazy this is. It was a story about golf.
Come on, bro.
It was during the recession, so obviously nobody was investing in, building a $10 million golf course. But he was in an interview and was like, oh yeah, we don't have to worry about that. We have all these Russian investors. They love golf. It's like, nigga, you just out in your whole fucking family
with nothing but snow. There's no golf courses in Russia.
What do you want to know, bro? I'll tell you everything.
That's crazy. But yeah, like what I will say when it comes down to Obama is the fact that he, in his mind, he's just like he's done his due diligence.
Yeah,
he understands that the immediate. Like the Trump administration is going to try to erase absolutely everything.
Yeah.
Right. He kept his nose incredibly clean, so they can't catch him on nothing. And this nigga is going to be at every single resort and spa that you can absolutely imagine.
Like
why the fuck would the Trump administration roll back healthy food for children?
Okay. See, this is a really good one. I'm glad that you bring this one up. because I was scrolling through the timeline. I was going through the hashtags, right? Because I love Michelle Obama for just giving zero fucks and literally saying, what the hell is wrong with people?
Hashtag, I'm about to follow around Obama and Michelle like Kendrick Lamar, but continue. That's some real talk.
So, and what I love to do whenever those statements come out, or when they're trying to pull back on something that the Obamas achieved, I love seeing what the Trump supporters try and do to justify it.
Yeah.
To try and flip it and make it sound like a good deal, right?
Yeah.
So, you see these pictures of food, and they try and find like the worst picture possible to say, oh, well, your healthy food was crap and our kids hated eating it. And it's like, okay, if someone gets up and says, look, I want you to eat more whole grains, I want you to eat more protein, let's cut out the sugar a little bit. Like when we were kids, they're giving us chocolate milk every fucking meal, right?
God damn, what's going in, man?
And
them square ass pizzas
and selling us ice cream left and right. Ice cream was like 50 cents when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I loved, my mom was a librarian. I loved running over, hey, let me get 2 quarters.
All the other kids saying, I'm poor, mom. Money right quick. Stop playing, son.
So like, look, food in kids' schools is literally like, I really feel like it's killing our kids because there's nothing nutritious about it. So Michelle Obama comes in and says, look, let's try and eat healthier foods, right?
Like
let's
she
get our
was
kids to exercise more.
Kids how to plant their own gardens.
Nigga, and like obesity and heart disease are the 2 biggest killers of Americans. ISIS ain't got shit on table salt and white sugar.
Nigga.
Plain and simple.
That's crazy.
Okay? And so where does your head go?
More white shit.
Switch to brown sugar, nigga. Get to the wheat flour, motherfucker.
Stevia, motherfucker. Stevia.
Eat your brown rice. So, like, where does your mind have to go to try and justify that? Like, you're so hypnotized into thinking whatever this man does is good for us. So, fuck everything else. Push, 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 take, right?
Well, so here's my question. Is it a balance between low-key racism? Because ultimately, what they're trying to do is, it's clear they're trying to roll back everything that he's done, right?
Oh, yeah.
So as a president, Obama has done so much shit. Rolling Stone locked him down as the greatest president in American history. Rolling Stone said that, right? Because he's done so much shit. Nobel Peace Prize, all that other good shit. Like, the whole thing about the light bulb. My whole thing is, there's no way that everything he's done is wrong.
Right.
So it has to be specific.
This one's dead, by the way.
Yeah, mine's dead too.
Yeah, that's fine. We're going on like 2 hours.
Oh, we're like an hour and a half or what?
No. An hour and 58 minutes.
Yeah, we'll wrap it up. You know what I'm saying? Like, we'll wrap it up. But like, my whole thing is the fact that there has to be a certain level of fucking racism.
Looking at the racism.
Specifically racism of Obama and wanting to delete his shit, right? You know what I mean? Like, it has to be like, and it's obvious of,
yeah,
the nigga on the beach saying Trump, like this nigga was hurting himself. Like, there's enough, and y'all, to protect that crazy man on the beach, right?
Yeah,
I'm not protecting him, but to protect that crazy man. When Obama won in 2008, I may have possibly did the Millie Rock in an old white couple. Maybe. I may have done that.
Okay.
So, and my president is black. I played it every single time I pulled up to my job, very loud.
Oh, yeah. I was in high school when Obama first won. I might have got a few white kids suspended because of some comments on Facebook. I pointed all that shit out.
You pointed all
may or may not. I don't know. I can't confirm. But no, to your point, because there's a great article out now from, I believe it's a Washington Post. Okay? And this whole time, we've been talking about economic anxiety from white middle class and white lower class citizens, right?
Black man's king.
And all of a sudden they do this report on, and guess what they call it? Cultural anxiety. Now, cultural anxiety is another word for diet racism, right? Because basically they're saying that all these white people feel like their country is being taken away from them, that there's more immigrants coming in, their jobs are being taken away.
It is.
Look, okay, you know what brown people are taking? They're taking the opportunities that white people refuse to fill. Because
it is true.
I remember sharing you those stories about farmers, especially in Alabama and Georgia and things like that. So all these farmers are literally going out and saying, look, we have
these
a huge
jobs
harvest.
available.
Yeah, we have like 600 jobs available. Come and work. 200 might apply. 150 will show up, and only about 50 will stay until the end of the job.
They'll take extra long lunches.
Yeah. They'll complain about, oh, my lower back.
My back hurts. Yeah.
But see, all these immigrants that come in, they work and they do not complain not once. They earn their check.
The avocado went from $1.80 to $7.02.
White people is freaking out. Ain't a vegan restaurant out here serving avocados.
Zero avocado toast. In Malibu
it's gonna
now.
be extra $15 if you want avocado on your toast. So there are jobs there that these people that are claiming that, oh, I'm feeling anxious about all these different people showing up. They're not willing to work those same jobs as those people are.
Yeah.
So two things are happening. One, immigrants are filling those jobs, but in states where they're creating harsher laws for immigration, those same farmers are now turning to robotics to fill in those roles. And I was reading a story about this, specifically in Alabama again, because the legislator there said, okay, you know what? We're going to make it really hard for illegal immigrants to get a paycheck from a farmer, right?
Yeah.
So now the farmer, Americans won't take those jobs. He can't hire illegal immigrants. So now he's saying, you know what? I got to find another solution to fulfill my needs for this harvest. So they're starting to turn to robotics. That's going to be a whole nother episode because I want to talk about Elon Musk. I want to talk about the automation age.
Automation. Yeah.
And we're on the cusp of it right now.
Yeah.
A lot of manual labor is going to get cut out, and a lot of shit's going to change fast. And it's going to be very interesting. We've been talking about it for a while, but it's actually happening now.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you what the most important thing is that people don't understand, right? Like when it comes down to us, like as black males.
Right.
We're motherfucking survivors.
Yeah.
And we are used to adverse situations.
Right.
So I think we will still thrive and create in these businesses, even without money. You know what I mean? Like even without like investment, whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm very curious to see how this shift. And I think I said this to you before, like how like when it comes down to like the whole healthcare system and how like ACA is shifting and taking money away from middle America and lower America. People who were originally covered now are stepping to the whole pre-existing conditions, like whole situations.
Yep.
And I think that we as a people are used to that, as opposed to like the people who actually voted Trump in are not.
Exactly. And you know what? My last point is going to be...
Okay. We got to stop because it's been like... It's supposed to be a 24-minute...
We on 2 hours.
I haven't even touched any of the 37 other points that I have like lined up.
Look, my last point is going to be this. To all Trump supporters, right? I'm curious when the day is going to be. I have to imagine it's going to be sometime soon, but you know, these guys never fail to surprise me. At one point, a lot of these Trump supporters are going to realize that, for one, Trump and his administration, they do not care about you. They actually are elitist. They have no interest in draining the swamp.
I think they're figuring it out now.
They are the swamp.
Yeah.
A couple of them are, but he has a lot of really loyal fans, okay?
Not that girl with the baby in her hand saying, "My child." She is turning up in the motherfucking offices.
So I think people are going to start seeing that, look, Trump does not give a fuck about you. And so people like us who have experienced these hardships for most of our lives, and we've experienced them in previous generations.
Yeah, we know.
We're used to this. We're resilient, and we find a way to get through the hard times. For people who have never really experienced the hard times, it's going to be really tough for them. And one day they're going to realize that in a certain sense, we all are in the same boat, right? Yeah. Because these guys really don't give a fuck about us. The people that we have in office, they don't care. Jeff Sessions, he just went out there and said that he wants prosecutors
harsher,
right, to find the full extent of the law for sentences. That you should serve the full sentence for drug and nonviolent crimes or whatever.
I don't trust that nigga's ears.
Exactly. Yeah. Leghorn Foghorn is running the Justice Department. So look, these people do not care about y'all. They definitely don't care about us.
Absolutely.
And one of these days, Trump supporters, y'all gonna find out, and hopefully it's not too late.
Listen, I said this to my friend who voted Trump. I know you're probably gonna listen to it because I'm definitely posting this on my Facebook page. But I love you. Shout out to you. But what I will say is the fact that I explained the fact that it has nothing to do with race.
No.
You have no power. It comes down to class.
Yeah.
If you are not in the top 1 or even top 10%,
yeah,
fuck you.
Yeah.
You are a nigga.
You 100%. Like
you don't even know that. But the people now who thought that, the people now, like, you can watch any single thing, and I'm going to end on this too. You know what I mean? Like, the people who thought that Trump was just talking shit and he wasn't really going to pull the healthcare because it affected so many people, and the people who voted him in, Middle America that voted him in, and Southern America that voted him in, he was going to make sure they were taken care of. Like, it has zero to do with you. It's about the bottom line.
Yeah.
And the fact that you are a nigga because you do not make the money that they make.
Yeah.
100%.
And at the end of the day, guess what? You don't deserve what's going to happen to you. As much as it's your fault for voting this man in office, you don't. Trump supporters,
you a nigga.
Right. You're going to get treated like one, but you do not deserve to lose your health care.
This is truth.
You don't deserve those things to happen to you, but it is inevitable. It'll happen to you. It'll happen to us.
Yeah.
And hopefully, before it's too late, we'll all realize that we have to resist this guy together, and we have to resist guys like him. Because Republicans in, was it Missouri? They just voted to reduce the minimum wage. We were talking about increasing the minimum wage to 15. They've reduced their minimum wage to $7.70. So look, y'all don't deserve none of that shit. Okay? And as misled as you guys are, you don't deserve that to happen to you, because you don't deserve to be treated like you're lesser, because you can't afford health care. Or, you can't afford to have the same living standard as these assholes that are running the country.
So here's my question. Would you consider that the positive note? Or do we have to
I guess so. I mean,
here's what the whole thing we decided not to speak completely negatively about shit. And maybe we should end on a positive note.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Maybe the positive note is the fact that, like, we're all the same. We're all the same people, and we all deserve good things. Our children deserve to eat good food, and we all deserve to have a living, working wage.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think that's where we'll leave it at. We all have to have that understanding. Whenever it does happen, people don't deserve to have to pay more for healthcare just because they have a pre-existing condition. People shouldn't be treated less just because they make less money than someone else. And even if you are the guy flipping burgers, I gotta think you deserve at least $15 an hour.
Yeah, we are fucking Americans, dude. We are fucking Americans.
Like, I still believe
we're human beings.
America is the greatest country in the world. We got a lot of fucking problems.
We got a lot of fucking problems.
There's a lot of shit we gotta fix, but I still do believe that, and we have the potential to be a quote unquote bashing of light for the rest of the world, but we got to start sometime real soon fixing all the shit that we got going on. So
shout out.
I think we leave it there.
So we don't know whether or not to say King Jedi Dream Magic, or you say
we don't figure that out. We might have to come
Cory
up with a
Jarrett.
new name.
We'll come up with a name like right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like two niggas in a pocket. Just fucking around with y'all. That might be like bleeped out.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you guys for tuning in.
Absolutely.
I think this is gonna be maybe like a every Friday thing.
I'm down for
I think we got to recap at the end of the week.
Like, literally, we didn't even go into like
No.
2%.
Yeah, and we're on overtime, nigga.
Absolutely. One more chop this up. Thanks for tuning in.
Man.
The website, kingjedi.com. Also check out like dreammagicla.com.
Yeah. Dream Magic LA, jmusic.com,
jmusic.com.
We got a lot of websites. We're going to figure it out, though.
Black with a Q. Absolutely. Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah. We appreciate you.